Happy Wednesday. It is a beautiful day here in Minneapolis. The sky was perfectly blue this morning, and then there was those lovely planes that were putting some lines in the sky today, which is just fabulous. So now the sky is kind of overcast looking-ish. I grew up in California where it was a lot of smog, so it's interesting how it can kind of turn into that kind of hazy but blue look here. Anyways, that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I am here to talk about those of you who are walking the very narrow road and how, you know, if you imagine being at a race, maybe you've ever done like a running race. I did a very short stint of cross-country running when I lived in Vermont in 6th grade. Not a fan. Running is more for me like if somebody's chasing me, like, you know, that kind of thing. I can do it, but it's not my favorite. So imagine being in a race and maybe you're in, you know, you've got a 10-mile race and you're at like mile 5. You're halfway through. Maybe you're even at mile 7. And along the way, people are cheering you on, they're cheering you on, and they're like, you go, keep going. And then you get to like mile 7 or 8, and there's really not as many people at that place. There might be a few people at that point that are cheering you on, maybe. You're kind of like in it on your own potentially. And then you get to the finish line, and that's where everybody's cheering you on. So this is my analogy for you today of what it can feel like sometimes when you're walking on the narrow road. There'll be a lot in the beginning, right? There'll be a lot of people maybe running with you. There'll be a lot of people cheering you on. But then when you start taking these courses that are a little bit off the beaten path, or maybe you're a little bit more counterculture, or God's calling you to do something that's very different from what the world would say you should do, because a lot of people like to should on you, right? And I said SHOULD. I had to make sure you heard that part. And we need people in our corners that are gonna remind you of the "but God said." Now, part of that is knowing that you can't tell everybody about your "but God said," because there are going to be people who are going to come up against everything you are called to do, because they can't even, it doesn't even make sense to them. And I think that there's a lot of us, because I talk to a lot of gals, and I'm so blessed to be a connector. There's a lot of gals in my world who we're kind of living on the edge. We're like hanging on to the hem of his garment. We're like, we're anchored, because we know, even though the circumstances around us may not look favorable, that there is a finish line. And we need people around us that either prophetically can bring keys along that will help us continue to move forward, to ask the questions that help you to keep moving forward, rather than coming along and saying along that pathway. Let's just go back to that running race where you're at like mile 9 and you feel like you're gonna die because your feet hurt, you are thirsty, like everything in you is saying just quit, and then you've got potentially a lack of supporters that are there to cheer you on. So all this to say, this just, like, I felt led to just come on and just start talking. This is really cool, Holy Spirit, of this. I just see this vision of this running race, and you're called to finish. You need to keep going. So I would love to come alongside you and help you be a finisher, but I would also love to come alongside you and help you be a starter, because a lot of you're like hanging on the sidelines, and he's calling you to the front lines. Anybody? Because you know that he's given you a big vision, and you're like, I don't have any money, I don't have any time, I don't have any supporters, I don't have this, I don't have that, this doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Does that make sense? So I just wanted to come on and share that with you today. We are called to rise up And like what I like to say, it's time to soar with new wings. And that's just my little tagline with my coaching business. But, you know, I look back at even my boys. My youngest son just got done playing baseball for the season, and they need coaches. And I love being a coach. I love doing that one-on-one, digging deep with girls, to women, I should say, because, you know, girls, whatever. To help them cross that finish line and keep going and bring like beautiful blueprints from heaven that need to get pulled down. Because here's what I'm seeing, and what I just shared with another friend today was what I really feel called into as a coach is to help women who are caged in either a career, kind of more specific corporate, you know, kind of that 9-to-5 cage of complacency, where they know there's more, but they're like, well, I'm the breadwinner, I don't know what else I can do, which was what I was before. This is why I got this tattoo as a prophetic reminder in October of 2020 that I would be freed and released. And here's what happens. I see a lot of gals who know there's more, and by the end of the day, they're just wiped. They're just wiped. They don't have the energy or the tenacity. And I shouldn't even say tenacity, because a lot of these gals have tenacity. And a lot of you guys I know that I'm called to work with are warriors. But there's this potential that the job that you're doing is sucking the life out of you. And I want to come alongside, whether you're called to stay in a job that sucks the life out of you, I want to help you have life while you're in that position. Or if you're ready to like start building a runway so that you can fly, I would love to come alongside you and help build that runway. I'm also definitely called to be a voice activator, because a lot of you have voices that are caged up and you need to release your sound. And I believe that he's given me like a fun name of being a locksmith to help unlock you from the cage of your career and unlock you from the cage of your communication. So all that to say, what started out with this talking about running the race, you're called to run the race well, but you need a coach. Somebody here who's listening, eventually, maybe on the replay, you need a coach. And I would love to be that gal for you who comes alongside. We dig out the gold in you. We go from identity to destiny, and you get to rise up and soar with new wings. So all that to say, lots of things to say, right? This is supposed to be 2 minutes, and I don't have any clue how long this is. And yeah, it's time. Like to say, there's more. It's time to soar. So I'll leave it at that. I did a really fun post earlier. I don't know what Facebook shows people these days, because I've been a little, you know, talking about things I don't like. But I was on a walk today, and I just want to implore you to go on a walk, get out in nature, go see them in the details. It was so cool. I literally was going to go back to my car, and I just felt led to go down this particular pathway. And you can go check out the post. It's under my Wonderings. I have a Wonderings album, because he calls me a woman of wonder. But the words that I saw today, you just might need them as well. So, all right, well, have a blessed day. You know where to find me if you need some assistance. I can be your little flight attendant.